matter. When you bank with WISFIS, your money stays here, helping people and businesses in the same communities where you live and work. To us, local banking means more than just having local offices. It means that when the communities we serve succeed, we succeed. WSFS Bank. We stand for service. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Headlines you can't get through your day without. On Power 1017.
A lot of stuff going on today. Jess, what you got?
All right, so President Biden urged strong global action on the pandemic, climate change, and human rights abuses as he spoke before the world leaders on the first day of the annual UN General Assembly in New York City yesterday.
Is a fundamental truth of the 21st century within each of our countries and as a global community that our own success is bound up in others succeeding as well. To deliver for our own people, we must also engage deeply with the rest of the world. To ensure that our own future, we must work together with other partners, our partners toward a shared future. Our security, our prosperity, and our very freedoms are interconnected, in my view, as never before. And so, I believe we must work together as never before.
Wow. He also made an impassioned call for nations to work together, saying that overcoming the crisis that confronts the world, quote, will hinge on our ability to recognize our common humanity. He also spoke about his administration ending the United States' 2 decades of war while not addressing the criticism over the handling of the Afghanistan withdrawal, describing it as setting up a shift to intensive diplomacy. The president also talked about the concerns about rising tensions with China, saying, quote, we are not seeking a new Cold War or a world divided. So there you have it.
Okay.
President Biden speaking yesterday. There is now an average of 1,900 people dying in the U.S. each day of COVID-19. This is the highest it has been since early March and up 40% over the past 2 weeks, according to data from Johns Hopkins University. Experts say that it's largely unvaccinated Americans who are being hospitalized and dying from the virus. Back in December, it was about 3,000 people a day dying, but that was before the vaccines were available. The current high death rate is happening with nearly 64% of Americans having gotten at least one dose of a vaccine. Johnson & Johnson also released yesterday some data showing that a booster dose for its one-shot vaccine provides a strong immune response. The company says that it is in talks with regulators about booster doses of its vaccine.
Yeah, they have the Pfizer available for booster, and then for certain qualifying groups. Moderna has come out, and then that's going to be, soon, hopefully next or whatever. And now Johnson & Johnson says that they're next.
Yep.
So.
Also, a magnitude 5.9 earthquake struck near Melbourne, Australia yesterday, a city that hasn't had a quake of this size in decades.
Wow.
There haven't yet been reports of any injuries, while social media videos showed at least some minor damage. Australia very rarely has serious earthquakes when its worst ever only measured 6.6 magnitude in 1988. And some sad news to report. We've been following this story. The FBI said yesterday that human remains found in Wyoming National Park on Sunday were confirmed to be those of 22-year-old Gabby Petito. And the coroner also concluded that she had been killed by another person. However, they did not disclose a cause of death pending the final autopsy results. Meanwhile, police are continuing to search a nature preserve area near Northport, Florida. This is the home of Petito's fiance, 23-year-old Brian Laundrie, and he hasn't been seen since last Tuesday. He returned alone. Now, this is alleged on September the 1st.
Yeah, alleged he returned. Who says he returned? His parents? We're going to believe them?
Having set out months earlier on a cross-country van trip with Petito, and he has been named a person of interest in the case. Before his disappearance, he refused to talk to the police or to Petito's family.
And now all of a sudden he's missing.
Or hiding.
And now what
Which word do you want to use?
Right.
Missing or hiding?
Do you, now following this, Jess, you personally, do you believe that he's on the run and hiding, or do you believe that he's dead?
He's on the run and hiding.
Okay.
I still believe that.
I believe that too.
Now, if that changes from now until if something were to happen to him or they do find him, dead, then that's different. But right now, I think that whatever happened,
And
he's
you think
on
his
the run and
parents
he's hiding.
helped him?
I do think his parents. I don't know if they helped him, like if they were involved with whatever incident happened out there.
No, help him
But,
get away and
yeah.
hide.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're covering up for him. I think maybe he did show up and he told them, you know, this happened. They're like, what are you doing here by yourself? Like, what happened? And I think he told them.
Now, I know this is not part of the official news story, but how about the video in the woods that you were showing me yesterday?
Yeah,
So that's
the
a
guy
thing
on
now?
the trail camera. It is a thing.
So apparently there was a guy, he had a trail camera out in the woods that kind of monitors deer and stuff
Yep.
like that at night, you know, and a random person showed up on his camera, which is not
now
normal.
they're saying that it's a person of interest and they're calling him a hiker.
But what did he have? He had like,
He had a backpack. You can see like a bag. Oh, not a backpack, but like it looks like a bag like on the side of his body.
but
You
that's
can
something
see, like,
significant with
maybe
that bag
facial
though, right?
hair. Yeah. Well, someone actually on that post, there's pictures that they had posted on Instagram and different pictures that are trending of their trip. And that bag that you can see this man carrying is a bag that's in one of the pictures.
Okay.
So, well, it looks very similar. And on the trail cam, you know, it's dark. You don't see everything clear.
Well, I had heard some people say the
So-
guy did kind of looked older. Others say
But
no,
I
it's
also
him. It's
think,
Brian
too-
Laundrie.
Right. I also think, too, imagine if you're on the run, if you're in the woods, you're not going to look clean and refreshed and
Right.
you know what I mean? You're going to look rough. And he's probably letting, like, maybe he wants to change his appearance.
Now, do you feel that's him?
See, where that footage was is about 500 miles from where his parents live and the reserve that they're looking into. And people were saying there's no way that he can travel like in that amount of time.
In
But
what
he
amount of
can-
time?
He can if there's
I'm not-
if he did a hitchhiker, he can if
Well,
someone took him there.
I'm not convinced he went home.
No, I'm not convinced
I'm not
of that
convinced
either.
he went. And
So
I'm just saying.
I do feel that
You think that's him?
maybe they will find him somewhere that we're not even like thinking.
Listen
know?
to Nancy Grace Crime Stories podcast on Apple
He
Podcasts.
has
It's her-
help or had help.
She's on it. It's her shows on like a podcast. She does her show like
Yeah.
on the radio, like
So-
on the podcast, and she gets into all of it.
When they say, you know, well, there's no way that he could have walked that distance. Okay, maybe not. But what if he got a ride? What if someone
parents
dropped
helped him.
off? What if there's a family or friend helping? You know, before his face was making all the headlines, he could just be there with his bag walking in like a hitchhiker and hop in the back of somebody's truck and they give him a ride somewhere.
Thoughts and comments 302-858-5117.
Someone else on that story that I've been following said that he was spotted in Jacksonville.
Really?
And that's not close to
What
where the
doing
parents
what?
live.
Any idea?
No.
Okay.
No, it's just like another tip because now tips are coming in from all over.
Yeah.
So, but they're wondering that, well, how'd he make it that far? You can.
Don't worry. Yeah, you can figure that out.
can.
Anything else, Jess? Any local stories?
Okay, so there is a scam taking place at a restaurant in Dover. This happened yesterday, so they're warning other businesses that this scam happened yesterday. It was just before 3 p.m. The restaurant received a call from somebody claiming to be from the U.S. Marshals Service, stating that they were investigating a claim of counterfeit money being given out at the restaurant as change. The caller reportedly told the manager that they would be at the business within 30 minutes to inspect the cash and to have the money out of the drawer. The employee was asking for proof that the call was like legit, and they told her to step outside, that they were going to be conducting surveillance on the restaurant. Well, then the employee became frightened. Something didn't feel right. They notified the police department. They are investigating the incident, but they are asking anyone to please call Delaware Crime Stoppers at 1-800-TIP-3333 and to warn other businesses out there of this scam. If anyone calls about counterfeit money and they're telling you that they need to be there within 30 minutes to inspect it and to have the money out of the drawer, something's up, okay?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, most definitely. And President Joe Biden did ask millions of people that if you are going to get that rapid at-home test, that will also help curb the wave of the COVID-19 pandemic that we're right in the middle of. But local pharmacies are now saying that it could make things difficult. Apple, Discount Drugs, and Fruitland say that right now their biggest challenge with the pharmacies and what they're facing is getting their hands on the actual rapid at-home test. They're running out of the supplies. The supply chain is hindered, and they are checking multiple times a day through wholesalers to see how they can get their hands on more supply.
Okay. 6:48. It's a Bill and Jessica show. Here's Drake. Good morning.